Hey everybody! This spring I decided to challenge myself and incorporate more color into my makeup looks, and since I'm also a little bit of a nerd, or maybe a little bit more than a little bit of a nerd, I decided to use some of my favorite Pokemon as inspiration for my makeup looks, and this one is based on one of my favorite Pokemon, Mawile. When I was looking at Mawile, it had these jaws in the back of its head, which is kind of where the bigger eyeliner comes from, or at least bigger than I usually wear. Of course, I wanted to keep this wearable, so I didn't go too crazy. So before I get into the makeup look, let me just give you a little bit of a background on Mawile in case you're interested. If you're not, there's a time code right here. You can totally just skip to the tutorial. Mawile is one of my favorite Pokemon for two reasons. First off, you remember those horn jaw things in the back of its head that I told you about? Well, in the game, when you're attacking with your Pokemon, you always see the back of them. Because Mawile attacks backwards with these jaw horn things, you can see the front, which is kind of awesome. But also, the backstory to Mawile is pretty cool. It's actually based on a Japanese legend or group of folklore legends about the Futakuchi Onna, which are Japanese yokai or monsters. They're these women that have been transformed into these monsters because for one reason or another they weren't eating a lot, and so they developed a second mouth on the back of their head to compensate. Kind of gnarly, I know, but I just found that to be kind of a fun inspiration for Pokemon. So if you're interested in any more of the Japanese folklore about the Futakuchi Onna, I'll leave a link down below. Now that I'm done with the intro, let's just head into the video. I'm using my 88 Original Coastal Scents palette for all of the shadows in this tutorial, and the first one that I'm using is a pale yellow, light yellow color, I guess, which I'm patting all over my lid with just a normal shadow shader brush. And then I'm going to start out with my pink crease colors. The first one is the lightest of the bunch, and I'm mostly just using that to very carefully outline the area that I want my pink to go in my crease. So I'm using a windshield wiper motion to place that, and then outlining my outer V and putting a little bit under my eyes. The next pink is going to be the brightest pink, and I am mostly starting out just by tracing over the first pink that I put down, still being really careful not to mix it with that lid color. I really want that to stay intact. So once I go over the original pink, then I'm just going to start blending it out with the brush that I'm using, which is an Essence Smoky Shadow Brush, by the way, and just going over it again until I get the intensity that I'm looking for. Now I'm just going back over that lid color. I told you I didn't want them to blend. I'm really intense about keeping that separate. And then just blending everything out before we go into our next color, which is a darker purpley pink color. I'd say it's a little bit more of a purple. And I'm using this in the outer V primarily to darken up the look. And I'm working really slow with this. I cut out a ton of footage for time where I'm just going back and forth, packing on a little bit of color and blending, and packing color and blending. So really take your time with this step until you get the exact look that you want. And then I'm going over the lid one more time before I take a nude color and just clean up around the edges. I use the lightest one because I'm super pale, but adjust for your skin tone. And I'm also using that to highlight before I go into my eyeliner. I actually forgot to film my eyeliner, but these are the products that I'm using, and I'll just explain what I did while you can see on camera how I did my mascara. So first I just lined my upper lash line with the liquid liner, and I did a pretty dramatic wing out. If you wanted to do a double wing to mimic the jaw horn things that Mawile has, I think that would work really well. And then I used the Sephora Nano eyeliner in my tight line and my waterline. And now I'm going to go in and fill in my brows. I'm using the Chella brow pencil, and I'm using small strokes to make it look a lot more natural. And then I'm going to set everything, or at least that, with the e.l.f. Wet Gloss Lash and Brow Clear Mascara. Mine's pretty gnarly because I've used it a ton. And then for lips, I'm going to use the Bare Minerals Marvelous Moxie Gloss in Rebel, and this is one of my favorites of the moment. Next is cheeks, and I'm using the Sephora Bronzing Powder in Los Cabos for my bronzer and all of my contouring, and I totally forgot to blend this out as much as I should have. So when you're doing this, do what I say, not what I do, and make sure you blend everything out, even the temples and everything else. And then I'm gonna make faces before I go ahead and do my blush, which is the Nars Orgasm blush. And I really like how the peach tones in this blush and in the lip gloss contrast with the purplier pinks in the eye color. And then last but not least, I'm using the Mary Luminizer by the Balm as my highlighter just on my cheekbones, on the bridge of my nose, my cupid's bow, and my chin. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought of this look and if you want to see more, and I will see you next time. Bye! Typically when I'm starting out, I will have my gels and everything closer to the top of my suitcase or even in my purse so that I can go through security easily, and then I have everything else down here. So let's just go ahead and start with the gels and the liquids. I start opening here, and